when answering the question of if there are universal nonverbal behaviors that people exhibit, my first reaction was automatically to sort of think to myself, yeah, there's definitely has to be. In reality, it's not that simple. The Science Times published an article where they expanded upon some research, and it appears that the hand gestures used by children in young ages, I think it was 3 to 12, to describe stories, there were a lot of similarities between them, even through cultural and language barriers. Essentially, what that would mean is that all humans might be sort of pre-programmed with like an all-encompassing nonverbal communication tool set that we could use to communicate with other people that we didn't share language with. With nonverbal behaviors, we convey a lot of different messages through them. We convey our openness to new people, new things, our appreciation for things. You can show emotions, you could show disgust, love, approval, focus, interest, happiness. Tons of different things can be conveyed without using your actual words. In America, nodding upwards, right? Like that means hey or what's up. Same thing with nodding down. That's kind of like another approval, acknowledging that someone's there. Nonverbal behaviors can act as a statement of power or status, certain things like that. And the ones that we exhibit in America that don't necessarily all translate across cultures and languages, though. When considering how other cultures view our nonverbal behaviors, I realize it's kind of interesting to see that we have our own biases when it comes to nonverbal behaviors. My first thought when reading the prompt was, yeah, obviously we have universal, nonverbal behaviors, cues, stuff like that, body language, mannerisms, right? I assume, thumbs up means good, and waving is a sort of a greeting, right? But that's sort of just something that's in the U.S., right? In intercultural communication and context, Judith Meredith provides an excerpt talking about how she was doing research in Algeria, and she was on a balcony and she waved to a school teacher, and minutes later he showed up at her door. And it's because in Algeria, waving is a summons of sort. It kind of means like, hey, come here. I'm sure that I've been in situations like that where someone misinterpreted a nonverbal message. At my work, I'm constantly interacting with customers, and when they walk in, sometimes I'll wave hello and exhibit noticeable happiness, and it'll be met with anger or frustration, right, if they're upset about something that went on. Sometimes when stuff like that happens, I look back and worry that my happiness and warmth made it seem like my attention to matter was less serious, or that I was less equipped to deal with it, when in reality, that's not the case, and I'm more than willing to help. One example that I could think of right off the top of my head about this happening is we have a deaf postal employee, and when I was first starting there and we would deliver packages, I wasn't really aware of that, and I had a bunch of packages set up on the dolly in our office for me to run out and help them with. And when she walked in, I was talking to someone, and I just said to her, hey, be careful, that dolly's a little broken, right? And she grabbed it, everything fell over. She writes on a piece of paper like, you should have warned me, like, what was going on, right? And obviously I don't speak sign language, and I don't think she had any interest in communicating, so I just, was flustered, and I wrote on the paper saying, I'm sorry, I tried, and that all of that was a non-issue, but it's something I think about a lot when trying to be cognizant of things that other people have going on.